Alright guys, I have one of the most exciting bike review videos coming at you guys that I've done maybe since I've started YouTube. This is the 2026 Moto Morini Escape 1200, the big boy adventure bike. They got the 450 now, the Vittori 450. They got the Escape 700. Now they have the Escape 1200. They've got the full circle of what you need in adventure bikes. Anyways, came down here to Moto Morini headquarters in Irvine, California. Picked up the bike. This place is amazing. Just want to let you guys know the brand in the USA has a full inventory of parts back in their warehouse. And a lot of people get concerned, like, what if I get the bike and I need parts? Well, they got you handled. So what I wanted to do right now is give you guys my initial reaction when I get on the bike, take it for a short spin. I want you to hear it for the first time. I'm actually riding home, so it's a lot of freeway, so I'm not going to film a lot of that. But I'll film the initial ride and then talk about the bike's features, and then we'll go take it for another ride and give you all the lowdown on this machine. I'm excited. Now, before I fire it up, I want to tell you about this motor. This is the Corsa Corda V2 Evo. This motor was developed by Franco Lambertini back in 2005 for Moto Morini, and just amazing motor back then, known for reliability, power, some special features about it. It's evolved into the motor you see today. This motor was definitely developed by Moto Morini, Italy. With that said, let's fire it up and give it a listen. It's a V-twin, so you know it's going to sound good. Wow, that is phenomenal. I don't think I've ever heard a stock bike sound that good. That's shockingly impressive. Let's get on it. Okay, so like I said, this is just going to be my first impressions. I'm not going to go deep into any features or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm feeling on this bike. And I have to say, I am excited. Oh man, just that sound is like, mwah, beautiful. That is just wild. Hydraulic clutch, it's firm. Ride by wire. You gotta have that for cruise control, you know. So that's a good thing. I can't wrap my head around how good this bike sounds. It's just crazy. Just gonna do some city street riding around here. Feel the power, throttle response. Whew. All right, one thing I do want to tell you is the bike has 5 ride modes, 5, and right now I'm in road, so I'm going to go straight into sport with this thing. I want to feel the maximum performance. There's a mode button right here. See right there. Wet, off-road, all-terrain, sport. Maximum throttle response. God, I hope you guys can hear me over this exhaust. Good Lord. right, very linear power, meaning smooth. But once the RPMs got up around 4,000, 5,000, I could feel more power kicking in. Wow, this bike is butter smooth. It's like a Cadillac. Oh my God, that front brake is crazy. Look at the front brakes on this thing. This thing is like a MotoGP bike. You got your dual monoblock radial mount calipers that are Brembo. I mean, come on, man. Don't get much better than that. I really like the dash. It's very clean, very bold, easy to make out everything. The cockpit feels good. Like, I'm 5'10" now. I used to be 5'11". I'm getting older and shorter. But at 5'10", let's try my feet, how flat I can get them. All right, my ankles, the heels of my feet are about an inch off the ground. So not too tall, not too low. Yeah, that's fun. Listen to that thing growl when I downshift. Now, it's not monster power like a sport bike, but that's not what you want in a bike like this. I love the handlebars. I love the look of the cockpit. It's very clean. A lot of torque, like I'm just lugging like fourth gear. Turn the throttle and it just pulls out of it. You don't have to downshift. Alright, let's test the quick shifter. It does have a quick shifter, bi-directional, up and down. Let's do it now. Oh yeah. I hear that? That is so cool. Sounds like a freaking race bike, and that I need more time on that quick shifter. But right there, that was butter smooth. This bike is, whew, it's very nice. I think this thing's going to set the ADV world on fire. So what do we got going on here? I don't want to get all into the controls and stuff, but look at all these buttons. This bike has everything, and I'm going to go over that later in the video. But this is just a quickie for you guys. Listen to it, dude. Sounds like it's got a high lift cam, like a muscle car. It's almost shocking that the volume of this exhaust past emissions or whatever the heck it has to pass. It's on the market, so yeah, you just barely open the throttle and the thing's just gone. I mean, I was just cruising there, but still pulling really good. Alright, so what you want on a bike like this, a big adventure bike, is torque. I'm in 5th gear, going 65. Let's open her up. Whew. Yeah, that got up to 93 real fast. Wind isn't too bad. You know, it doesn't have the biggest windscreen on it. It is up all the way. It is height adjustable. But man, the thing is just logging freeway miles, no problem. I love it, man. I love a good sounding bike. I really do. It's huge for me. Not very often do I buy a motorcycle of any kind and it doesn't have a custom exhaust on it. I would say the only reason to change the exhaust on a bike like this, maybe you want to shave off some weight, but damn, that's about it. Some performance, of course. All right, here we go. Quick shifter. What is that? This bike is so smooth, and this freeway is bumpy, and it's just butter. 6-gear torque is really nice. Sheesh. Bravo, Motorini, bravo. Well, that was a pretty exhilarating ride from Motorini to my house. A lot of freeway, but man, the bike performs so good, feels good, sounds fantastic. I want to show you guys some details on the bike before I take it for another rip and evaluate some things. Let's look at some of the details on this bad boy. It does come with a luggage rack. It is metal with a little plastic insert right here, so you can put the top case on there. Check out these wheels. These are called tangential spokes. The way the spokes are on the outside of the rim, and then to adjust the spokes, there's a you can't really see it. Well, there's one right there. You can see there's the adjuster right there on the other end of the spoke. So that's pretty cool. They look cool. So what that does is it gives you a tubeless wheel, and tubeless is great because if you get a flat and you want to repair it, you don't have to pull the tire and change the tube. You just stick a plug in the wheel and go about your day. I can't get enough of these brakes. These monoblock radial mount brakes are fantastic. Of course, Brembo, we all know that's the premium brand. And along with those, you've got these dual floating brake rotors, which is really high-end stuff. I can't believe they got this kind of stuff on a bike with this kind of a price tag. Another handy little detail is your brake pad right here. You can see it's got 2 bolts on it. You can adjust that back and forth depending on your foot size. These foot pegs did have rubber inserts. You can see there's a 1 bolt that holds them on. I like to take them out because I want a broader area for my foot to step on. I want the more traction. I want a little more leg room because they stick up about a 1/2 inch. So, you know, you can take them or leave them. Having a center stand is always very nice on a bike. This one's really easy to activate. What's great about having a center stand is obviously you can service your back wheel, lubing your chain, cleaning the wheel, adjusting your chain, pulling off the wheel to put on a new back tire. This motor is fantastic. Not just the sound, the way the thing runs, it's got so much torque. You're looking at 129 horsepower. So she does a great job. You know, it's not like monster power, like I said, like you get on a sport bike where it's like, hold on. It's just good, strong, linear power that just keeps on pulling. For torque, you're looking at 78.2 foot-pounds, and the bike tops out at 136 miles per hour. Now, another thing that makes this motor sound so fantastic and have all that torque is it's got an 87-degree V-twin, and that's what gives this bike that awesome thumping sound. Now, as I mentioned when I was riding the bike, it does have a bi-directional quick shifter. You can see the mechanism right there. And if you're not familiar with this kind of technology, what it does is it kills the engine briefly while you shift. So you don't have to pull in the clutch, just shift the bike and go. Bi-directional means it quick shifting up and shifting down. Now check out this kickstand. I've never seen a kickstand like this before. Instead of being spring loaded, it has, looks like a shock absorber, but anyways, some sort of device that's part of the kickstand. So that's pretty tricky. Let's talk about the gas tank. 6.5 gallons, which is massive. Now, what's cool about this bike is it doesn't carry all that weight up high, making the bike handle poorly. The gasoline comes all the way down into here. So that lowers your center point of gravity so you can carry all that gas, but keeps the weight low for better handling, right? Going back to the braking, you've got these radial GP style master cylinders for the front brake and the clutch. Look at this thing. This is like straight off a race bike. And depending on your reach, you know, the length of your hands, you've got a little adjuster screw right here. Just turn this to adjust the position of your lever. Nice see-through reservoir. Come over here to the clutch side. Same setup, radial setup. Little reservoir right there. Got your adjustment screw right here. I will say the clutch pull is a little firmer than what I'm used to on a hydraulic clutch. But the great thing is you don't need to pull it in very often. Just come up to a stop, pull it in, put the bike in neutral. When you're shifting, you don't even use it at all. So not really a big deal, but something to note. This is always handy to have on a bike. Little water resistant cover on here. But you got yourself a couple of charging ports. You got yourself a USB-A and USB-C. Check out the front end on this bike. I really like the design of it. It's so clean. Just doesn't look odd to me at all. And check this out. These lights right here, these are turning lights. So as you lean the bike, those lights kick on left or right when you're turning. Check this out. A dash cam. 720, 1080p you can choose going into the app. So if you go into the app, you can download the files. As soon as you turn this bike on, the dash cam is recording. And I can't tell you, I've talked to a couple people that are glad it does because they've wanted to go back in and retrieve certain incidents. One girl saw a buddy hit an animal and they wanted footage of it and so on. So that's cool to have. And it's a very unique feature. And then as you come up here to the windscreen, you just grab that handle right there, pull it up and down to adjust the height of the shield. I'll show you that when I'm riding the bike. You can do that actually. You don't have to pull over and do it. Just reach over there and nab it. If you want to mount a navigation device to the handle, you can, but I don't know why you'd want to. You'll have navigation right here. And it's good to keep this handle available for your hand, right? The windscreen is not super small, but it's not super big either. I know they're coming out with an accessory for a larger windscreen. And we'll go over the accessories for this bike in a bit. So I just turned on the lighting. Look at that trim lighting. How cool is that? All LED lighting on this bike. The blinkers, headlight, tail light, turning lights. I should have mentioned on the wheels, you're running a 19-inch on the front, 17-inch on the rear. And really when you think about it, this bike's going to spend more time on the street than anything. And that's really an ideal setup for street. And they do have tire pressure monitoring system, TPMS. So when you have a low tire pressure, you will get a warning up here on your dash. Now these tires are Pirelli, premium brand, right? And you come over here, they're called Scorpion Trail 3. Now that kind of trips me out because I look at this tire and I don't see anything dirt about it. I mean, it looks like a great street tire, but they call it a trail. So to me, that means it's good in the dirt too. Hey, maybe it is. I do like that. Look at that valve stem. Now that's cool. That makes it easy to get on. It's sturdy aluminum. So just another nice convenient factor. The premium components on this bike just keep on coming. Kayaba forks, KYB. These bad boys are 48 millimeter. And what's great, well, you get 7.1 inches of travel, which is nice. And what's great is you have full adjustability. So you can adjust the preload, the compression, and the rebound by right there on the fork caps. And for the shock, once again, KYB, premium stuff. Now what's cool is, look at this right here. That is a preload adjustment knob. So depending on how much weight you're carrying, if you got a passenger, if you're solo, put on luggage, packing your luggage. I mean, there's a lot of weight variations that come with adventure bikes. And conveniently just come down here and turn this knob. It's got clicks. Wow, it clicks like half a turn. Okay, so it does click. So that's convenient to have. It is progressive linkage, which, you know, makes the shock function better. And I'm sure, let me go look at the other side. I'm pretty sure there's probably a rebound adjuster. Yeah, it's in the front. If you can see it down there, in the front of the shock, there's an adjusting position there. Got yourself a full stainless steel exhaust. I believe that's probably the catalytic converter right there. You know, stainless steel, light, durable, looks great. That thing, I've said it enough already. It sounds phenomenal. Here's a good view of the tail section. Super sleek, not fat and gaudy. LED light. You know, you do have your standard fender extender there, but back end looks great. It's got like little number plates, kind of a look, kind of sporty. I really like the design of this cockpit, the way the seat is molded into the gas tank right here. I love this shape right here. Now the seat, I would say, is like a medium to soft density in the foam. So, I mean, it's comfortable. I don't like a seat that's too firm or too soft, somewhere in the middle. It's good at absorbing, you know, small bumps in the road. Got this cool design here. Passenger seat is nice and big. The branding, let's talk about some branding on this bike. Moto Marine is always good about all these cool little details in their branding. Look at this, there. Let's come around here. Cool branding on the sides. Little Marine right there. A little Eagle logo there. I mean, come over here to the motor. Get yourself one there. It's just, all these little details to me really matter. I'm big on details. Come to the other side of the motor. That's some Marine there, so fine job, Marine. Let me show you the boot up on the dash, and then we're going to take this thing in a ride in just a little bit here. I'm just going to show you the hand controls real quick, not in detail, just briefly. I like the boot up screen. That's cool. But let's look at the hand controls. So it does have heated grips, and every time you push this button, you've got low heat, medium heat, and high heat. And there's a little symbol right there. Where is it? Right there, the one on the left. Okay, well anyways, that's your grips heated button and your starter. And you come over here and you've got, you know, your horn, your blinkers. This controls the navigation on your dash. This star saves your favorites. If you get things set up a certain way, that'll save it. Easy to do mode button. You can hit this as you're riding and just click through the modes. You don't have to pull over or anything like that. Right here you got traction control, heated seat, and then this is your cruise control, on and off, and then faster and slower. And we're going to test that out. We're going to test all this out when we're riding it, but I just wanted to show it to you because you can't really see it while I'm riding. And I want to mention the heated seat is not just the rider, but the passenger too. One last thing about this motor, it does come with a slipper clutch. What does that do? Well, it allows you to downshift aggressively without the back wheel hopping. One last thing I want to mention about the electronics, it just keeps on giving, right? 6-axis IMU, 3-level traction control with lean angle. All right, so some final things before we take her for a rip. Seat height, 33.1 inches. Adventure bikes are tough. It's really tough to get an adventure bike perfect. It's either the seat's too high and people complain about that, or they never say the seat's too low, but if you try to get the low seat, then you got low ground clearance. So 33.1 inches is about as low as you're gonna get. Dry weight, 523 pounds. Now you tack on 6.5 gallons of fuel, and that's gonna take you up to whatever that would be. Now with all that said, all the features I just told you on this bike, it runs great. It's a 1200 essentially. What would you guess is the MSRP on this thing? All right, well, I'm gonna tell you, sitting down, $12,999. Yep, that's pretty wild. Now, just to compare that to the competition, you know, you're looking at Honda Africa Twins. They started around 15.2. Suzuki V-Strom, those things are, you know, 15.5 and up. You got your Triumph Tiger 1200, 22,000 to 23.8. And of course the BMW leads the way with the highest priced bike of all, the 1300 RT, starting at 22,650 up to 32,800. So think about it. I mean, it's in a class all its own. Who else is offering all this technology and performance at a price right around 13,000 bucks? Nobody. Okay, well, let's take it for a ride and quit chattering. I'm ready. All right, so we're back on this exciting machine, and what we're going to do now is more of the user experience, how everything feels and functions. So real quick, we're going to go through the 5 power modes, see how they feel. Test the cruise control, test out the heated grips and heated seat, give the quick shifter more of a test, check out the blind spot radar, and see how the brakes work and the handling. Let's get to it. Can't get enough of that exhaust note. So good. Quick shifter. Even if you're lugging along, that thing was just butter smooth. You don't have to be in higher RPMs to get it to work properly. Let's try some downshifts. Oh, nice. That's one of the best, smoothest quick shifters I've used. I haven't used a ton of them, but I have used them enough to know that it doesn't get much smoother than that. Now you do have to be precision, kind of precision with your shifting. You don't want to let your foot rest on the shifter because you can activate it. So just, be precise with it. All right, here's some corners. Let's do some handling. That felt really nice. I mean, the front end doesn't fight you at all. Goes where you point it. What else would you want from a bike in corners? So you could take this thing up to the mountains and have a great time. You could probably do a track day, have a great time. I got some more twisties coming up here in a minute. What I want to go through right now is the different power modes. Right now we're in sport. I already know how that feels, and I love it. I want to say this about the throttle. It's very accurate, but it's not 100% accurate to what you're doing here. It's just very, very slight. I won't call it a hesitation, but it's not super snappy. I mean, it is, but this first little bit has a little bit. It rolls into the RPMs. It doesn't jump into the RPMs, which is okay. It just helps tame the power. All right, so we're in sport. Press the button here. Now we're in road. Oh yeah. All right, under acceleration, I definitely felt about maybe 5 to 10% less power. I'd say 5%. All right, let's try wet now from the get-go. I want to feel the power from the very bottom. That's wide open. Wide open. Yeah. But you know what? It cuts the power quite a bit, maybe 30%. But it's smooth. It's not like a weird shut off in power where it's jerky or anything. It's just smooth. All right, what do we got next here? Off-road. Get up here where I can do a start without getting killed. That feels really close to wet. So I guess they figure, you know, it might even be the exact same mapping. They probably figure wet and dirt about the same amount of slipperiness. All right, then we got all terrain. I don't know what to even think of that. I mean, what does that mean, all terrain? Dirt and street? Alright, that feels definitely more power than wet and dirt. If I was riding off-road, I would choose all-terrain because I'd want a little more power. So yeah, maybe 5% more power than wet and dirt. What else do we have? Well, we're back to sport now. So sport is definitely the most responsive, most power, most fun. If you're on the street, most of the time you will be on this bike. I would be in sport because I love to control the power myself. I don't need a bike telling me how much power I need and can have. All right, let's do the cruise control. Really curious about that. I've never ridden a bike with a cruise control. Let's make sure it's turned on. So right here is the on-off switch. Cruise control, 50. Oh shit, I couldn't read that. Let's try that again. Right here, there's a note. When I turn it on, I flip the switch to the right to turn it on. Cruise control is available between 50 to 150 kilometers per hour. All right, I don't know what that is in miles per hour. So to set it, I'm just gonna press down where it says set, and then I've got my plus and minus to speed up and slow down. Let's see how smooth it is. Oh boy. You really feel how good sport is and what kind of power this bike has when you go from one of the slower modes back to sport. It's like, okay, now we're talking. All right, cruise control set. Like it. All right, let's just leave it here for a minute. Feels very smooth. Now when I hit plus, it'll speed up 1 mile an hour every time I push it. 1, 2, I can feel it. See, watch. 60, 61, 62. I'm pressing it, pressing it. Nice. That is so good. Love it. All right, let's slow down. Press in the negative button, the minus button. And then to release it, you just tap the front brake or the back brake. Now, I don't think this bike has like object recognition cruise control where, let's say you're riding along and you're catching up to a car in front of you, it'll automatically adjust its speed. I'm not 100% positive, but I don't believe it has that. Do I care? Not really. I'm just happy to have cruise control, to tell you the truth. All right, let's do this. Let's test out the heated stuff because it is chilly right now. And that's the handle grip symbol, and here's the light or the button. So I'm going to press this button one time. You see it turns green. That's low. Press it again. It turns like a shade of orange. That's medium. And then one more push and it's on high. I'm going to go straight. Let's start in low and see if I feel it. And then for the seat, the button right here, same thing. I press the button. Now the seat is green. Heated. Oh man, this bike is just loaded with rider comfort options. She gets up and goes when you open that throttle up. While things are heating up, let's try the windscreen. Right now it's in the highest position and it's doing a good job. I really don't feel any wind on my helmet. Maybe a little bit on top and a little bit on my arms. I'm going to put it in the all the way down position. So to do that, I just grab the handle here, push it forward and push it down. All right, it's all the way down. Oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. Feeling a lot more wind around my upper shoulders and my helmet. It's not like buffering me and pushing me around, it's just wind. Why would you ever want to do that? Well, maybe it's summertime and it's hot out and you want to cool off. That would be the hot ticket. And you can go anywhere in between. I mean, you can go a little bit. It's got all these little notches like teeth in a gear, and just adjust it wherever you want. I'm going to go all the way up because I'm trying to keep as much wind as possible out of my microphone. So I do love that feature. And when the larger windscreen that they have available would be really great to test out. I know those are coming on their way here right now. Now let me tell you about the blind spot radar. What it does is when a car is kind of behind you and off to the side, it'll throw you a little symbol right here in the mirror, just like a car. Same thing as a car would do, and it's just a little extra aid to make sure, you know, you're riding as safe as possible. All right, I do feel a little bit of heat in the grips, but I need more. So I'm going to hit the button one more time for the grips, and then in the seat, one more push. Now both are orange, the symbols. Got some twisties coming up here to see how this thing handles some more. Just loving that quick shifter, man. My left hand thanks you. I do love the torque too. Like I'm lugging like 5th gear, 50 miles an hour. And I just turn the throttle and she pulls. And I'm going up a pretty steep hill. Yeah, I definitely feel the grips in the seat heating up. That's a good temperature. Let's go to the maximum. One more click here. One more click there. Now they're both red. I want to be toasty. See, I was just really lugging and using the quick shifter, and it does it no problem. Some quick shifters like to be under more of a I don't know if you call it a load, but just higher RPM. You know what? I wanted to increase the compression on the front forks to reduce the dive in the front end. But yeah, the comfort in the cockpit here is really good. The reach to the handlebars for me, like I said, I'm 5'10", is great. The seat feels really nice. You can scoot back. So right now I got my butt all the way back to the passenger seat, and it gives you more height and a little more leg room. It just kind of gives you the opportunity to move around. You're not stuck in one spot. All right, the grips feel really nice and warm. Same with the seat. But see that green symbol right there? That tells you that the radar, the blind spot radar is turned on. I want to tell you, on the freeway, at 85 miles an hour, you're at 5,000 RPM. So it's not working hard at that cruising speed. The gearing feels spot on. I wouldn't change the gearing on this thing at all. I think it's dialed in really well. Finding neutral was very easy. I think I should mention the transmission feels very smooth. It's not notchy. Like, let's say when you use the clutch and you shift, it's just butter. Now, I told you guys that I was going to take this thing in the dirt, and I'm kind of questioning, do I want to take that gamble on a bike that's not mine? Do I want to get it dirty? I want to ride it in the dirt. These tires are questionable to me. I haven't let down the air pressure. Wow, the grips are so warm. Feels so good. Because it's, you can see right there, 64 degrees. That's chilly on a bike. All right, let's do these twisties. See how this bike feels. Mountains. Wow, we got a lot of snow. Oh, this road is so fun. Yeah, it's everything you'd want in a bike like this in turns. Having that 19-inch front wheel is so much better than a 21. My Africa Twin's got a 21, and I can tell you it doesn't corner like this thing does. I'm impressed. I'm pleased. The bike is a joy to ride in so many ways. All right, what else can we talk about with this thing? Oh man, these grips. They're really nice and warm, but it's not too much, you know? Feels just right. I'm gonna leave that on. All right, guys, I think that covers everything on this bike. I have to say, in closing, it's a phenomenal value. I mean, to get all this technology and rider aids, and it's a great looking bike. A 3-year unlimited mileage warranty, $12,999. Who else can give you that much bike for that price? That's crazy. Now, and I already know this bike is super popular. I was talking to the national sales manager over at Moto Morini, and they've sold half the bikes before they even get here. I know they just arrived recently and going out to dealers right now. So this bike's going to be flying off the shelves, man. I would definitely pay the money to get one. Wow, my butt is warm. I'm going to have to turn that down on my butt. Let's just turn it on low. There we go. Alright guys, well, let me know what you think about this bike overall. I'd be curious if you go out and buy one. So I hope you dug this review. I think it was pretty comprehensive. I'm going to head on back home and finish out my weekend. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.